Good afternoon. We have a special guest speaker for you today. Please give a warm welcome to the hosts of My Gym Partners, a podcast. Attendance is mandatory.
Bull shark, porcupine, I don't know what. Doing this podcast's a pain in the...
Well, gosh, Pete, how you holding up? I heard the news earlier. I don't know if you're doing all right. Pete?
Pete's were supposed to stick together.
I'm sorry he dropped out, but I mean, you could still vote for Bernie Sanders. He's another, progressively minded candidate for the election.
I just don't know, Goof.
Hey everybody, welcome to the podcast. Where we talk about
politics, where we like to get political. We're political on this show.
Let's get a little bit political. All right?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
All right. Bernie Sanders is a man.
That's true. That's a true statement. I want that on the record. That's a true one.
He has white hair, glasses. He is one of the running candidates for Democratic representative in the primaries right now.
Joe Biden is a guy.
Yeah,
he has
true.
white
That's
hair.
True. That's true.
He's old.
That's I think old might be subjective. I think we're strike that from the record. I think that we might get into some legal trouble, with old Joe's team. All right.
Yeah.
They're both experienced. Let's say. They're
Diamond Joe
experienced.
might come after our little mom and pop podcast.
Diamond Joe?
Yeah, that's what they call him. They call him Diamond Joe.
I've never heard that before. I guess I don't pay attention to him because he's awful.
So everybody, hey, welcome to My Gym Partners, a podcast. Lion's Anatomy is our first episode, and it's Mr. Mandrell's birthday.
Oh.
Wow.
What a reason. What a thing for them to not focus the episode on. It's surprising, really.
Okay, hold on. I don't think it was Mr. Mandrell's birthday because he
came out of the cake.
Well, yeah, he was the one coming out of the cake. That doesn't denote that you're like the receiver of the birthday.
Yeah, can you imagine, Lucy, if it was your birthday and then like all your friends and family shoved you into a cake? Like the cake, like it's not a surprise or anything. You would just be jumping out of your own cake. Like,
it's a surprise for all the birthday party guests,
they
reel out the cake and they're like, "Where's the birthday girl?" And then I jump out of the cake and I'm like, "It was me the whole time. I was the cake."
All right,
Cake all along.
all right, everybody. There's no cake anymore. Bye. I ruined it with my body.
I feel like we started a bit quick there. Yes, we have the episode Lion's Anatomy here. I wanted make reference to the sign, join the young Republicans.
Republic?
I'm guessing that's like a joke on the young Republicans. Topical.
Is there a young Did y'all's school have a young Republicans? I mean, there was a young Republican, and he was really lame.
No, strike that. That was the wrong episode. I was gonna
say, wasn't the first sign join the Koi Scouts?
That was join the Koi Scouts. I was wrong. I was looking at the wrong episode. I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. Embarrassing.
We're already in shambles. And the episode hasn't even started.
I just don't even know, what we're supposed to do. I feel like I'm not in it on the... we gotta, shake around. I need somebody to shake me so I can, talk about this.
I'm gonna throttle ya!
Stop being afraid of clowns! Stop it! I need you to shake me like that.
Yeah. Join the Koi Scouts.
We're in the staff room, which looks like a fun time. Like, all the teachers are there, and they seem to be enjoying whoever's birthday it might be. I'm guessing Mr. Hornbill.
Maybe it's just a party, just for the sake of it.
It's a birthday cake.
Well,
it's not
I don't
just
know.
a party.
You wouldn't want to just eat like a big old birthday cake, just for real. Could be a wedding cake.
For who?
Don't you dare insinuate anything ever during my life on this earth.
Oh, is it between Mr. Manjo and Renee?
Oh,
I knew you were. You know, maybe I shouldn't have said anything, but I knew somebody would have said something, and that's why I had to intervene. But
Renee,
then
I literally had nothing. I had nothing to say.
Mr. Manjo was jumping out of the cake. That was his way of proposing.
Oh,
he said, Renee, and he
fuck.
jumped out the cake.
See, Lucy, you saved it
I
for
want
me.
this bit to end.
I didn't have anything, Lucy, and you saved it. Renee,
nice, high five.
Renee, Mary Monkey.
I didn't know you were the Adam Lion of this podcast, Renee. You should have told me.
Yeah, let's switch places. You can be the gator, and I can be the Adam Lion.
Do you think
The
what
species Adam Lion?
with whatever project we end up doing in the future, I must wonder if our current forms will stick around.
Well, mine has
No.
to.
I know I'm going to be I'm still going to be our humble slug, but Lucy, you're bound to be tired of being the token human, right? That.
You know, sometimes I feel like it's the only thing that really grounds me to reality and, my corporeal form. But, it could be cool to be, like, a bear or, like, a cool bird or, like a pig or, like, maybe, like, a Pokemon. I could be a Pokemon.
Yeah, you could be Mewtwo. It could be...
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah, it could be me, the Sea Slug, Renee the Gator, and Lucy the Mewtwo.
Yeah, I could just, get that helmet they used in Detective Pikachu, put it on, and then I'm Mewtwo. Because, Mewtwo's real. I didn't know if you knew that.
Yeah, Mewtwo is real.
You heard it here first, folks.
So, did the closed captions not help us remember anything? We turned those on for the first time for this episode.
Well, don't say that. Come on.
Well, I want to... No, we need to bring it up, because I think it's kind of funny that we haven't been using them this entire time. They're so helpful, especially for something like this.
I don't want people to know that I forgot about closed captions
Well, it's not
until
really...
now.
You don't put it all on you. One of us could have been like, I think reading could help a little bit with this.
But not even sometimes, because sometimes these characters start talking and they say like 10 different outrageous things in a sentence, and there's no hope. There's no hope of retaining like half of that.
Can we get on track? I feel like I don't know where we are right now.
We're at the staff room. There's a cake at the beginning of the episode. We're 10 minutes into this and we're running off the rails. Okay, here's how this episode is structured. Basically, Principal Pixie Frog, who is the certified party wrecker, comes in, and Miss Warthog kind of just doesn't want him to be there. She doesn't care what his problems are, but he says there's a problem. See, Superintendent Wolverine is there. The guy who talks about biting people on the butts all the time.
Was he
He's
always
a superintendent now?
Yeah, I was about to ask if he was always superintendent, because he used to just be a substitute principal, right?
Yeah, that's a new thing now. Like the Principal Pixie Frog casually mentions now, newly hired Superintendent Wolverine. So now they got like a sort of Superintendent Chalmers Skinner vibe.
Kind of a Commander Hoo-Ha situation.
Almost, yes.
A much easier comparison to make than Principal Skinner. Superintendent
Okay,
Chalmers.
all right.
One that's
all right.
very much more well known, I'm sure.
So, this is a problem because he's getting his physical. For some reason, the superintendent is getting his physical from this one nurse in this random middle
I
school.
think I know
Nurse
why.
Gazelle!
I think Are you Is it because we haven't seen her in a while? Is that supposed to be us dying because we're just like, oh my god, she's here?
No, it's because she's an awful nurse. And that's the implication.
Well, that's a fair point.
She's like stupid. She's dumber than a sack of bricks, and apparently has never graduated from middle school.
I'm so happy that we have people. I'm so happy that there's representation of my people in this like show.
What do you mean? You graduated from high school?
Well, you know, just like
Don't
dummy. I won't say it. I won't say it for you.
Thank you. So, this is a lawsuit waiting to happen, obviously, right?
It's
like, because she's never even been to medical school, I guess.
I mean, do you... What are the Okay, so since she's a nurse at an animal school, that would, I feel like, at least mean that she needs to go to, like, veterinary school or something, right? Like, what do you do? What do you do to get it? How does it... I know when you become any kind of doctor, you get, like, a little bit of training in, like, humans, right? Like,
yeah.
The human... So, I'm just wondering
anatomy. You have to take anatomy.
Yeah, you have to take anatomy, and, like... Man... What would even happen if she, like, went to school for anything? What's she doing?
Passed. Well... Specifically, Nurse Gazelle, she wouldn't have passed. But there's an interesting question here where some of the animals, a good majority of the animals in this show are not quite, like, complete, like, I don't know how to describe it. They're a little anthropomorphic, obviously. They're kind of, you know, like that. So does that change their, like, makeup, like, the way that they, like, are they closer to humans now in their medical care?
Like
or, you know...
Like, is their brain bigger? Because they can stand on two legs and, like...
Well, not even that, just, like,
wear clothes.
Like, dietary, like, issues and, like, you know, sort of, like, just, like, all sorts of, like, little things that, like, you know, some animals may be predisposed to, like, some allergens or something or other. It complicates the medical field quite a bit to have, like, all, like, these different variables, I would think. But...
I can imagine, like, the medical system in this universe being, like, just horrendous. Just being, like, I don't know. Maybe about as bad as, like, it is now, but just a bit more. Just some animals thrown in there, you know?
Well, I mean, look at Ingrid, right? She's, like, has a almost human body except for her, like, neck and stuff.
Her freakish... lizard neck, her freakish like snake neck.
And Windsor, on the other hand, he's got like fingers and like hands and
a beanie and hair.
Yeah, sure, all right. That factors into like, what do their skeletons look like? They can't look like Ingrid's skeleton does not look like what we would see as our giraffe. You know, like our world giraffe skeleton. It would be like Ingrid.
It would be like a human skeleton, but with like hooves on the ends of the like hands.
Mutations.
Yeah, like mutations and like a disgusting neck.
Well, I'll tell you, it'd be the same amount of vertebrae because Animal Facts Corner with Renee.
Animal Fact with Renee.
Fun fact: a giraffe has the same amount of neck vertebrae as a human being.
Oh, they're just like
7.
far.
Yeah, they're just like, you know, far longer, like spaced out a bit more.
How did their neck get stretched out so far?
Probably I'm assuming it's so that they could eat better, like evolutionary wise. They need to stretch their head up to eat all the leaves that they want to eat.
But they didn't willingly make their necks stretch out.
They didn't. It happened over like thousands of hundreds of thousands of years, probably.
When did giraffes first appear on Earth?
I don't know.
Look, I don't have all the answers, all right? We can't get into, like...
Why would anybody know that?
I mean, somebody...
Hey, Gert, how long have horses been around? Hey, Gert, can you tell me when the first horse came to
I
Earth?
can maybe tell you that,
actually.
That. I think horses have been around for maybe, like, 50 million years. Hold on.
I thought you were about to say 50 years.
Yeah, horses have been around for, I think they first appeared in, like, the Western times, you know, like old-timey Western times.
Yeah, 50 years ago.
Yeah, 50 years ago. My time, when did World War II happen? Yesterday? Okay, so, where were we? Yes, how long have giraffes existed?
Principal Pixie Frog, when rushing into the physical, kind of blurts out, you know, that she never graduated from middle school, so... Wolverine fires her and she runs away crying.
Oh my god.
Then he starts... What?
1 million years. That's how long giraffes have been around.
Thank you. She runs away crying, and Principal Pixie Frog and Wolverine start to have a conversation, which I could not pay attention to because there was like a eye examination chart in the background with, like, you know, the kind of like pyramid shape with a bunch of like letters and stuff to check how good your eyesight is. Mm-hmm. And one of the like lines just said like monkey boy.
Monkey boy.
Yeah, I was looking at that as well.
And it really got me, so I stopped paying attention for a good while.
You have good eyesight.
Thank you.
Well,
you're able to read everything.
The thing is that CDMS, old Chucky D, needs a new nurse practitioner for the school because they only have the one, and it was like someone who was unqualified for the job.
It's really interesting to me, like how they brought up like the nickname for Charles Darwin is Chucky D. Like that's always kind of fascinated me, and I don't know why. It just feels so random. Like, you can't call Charles Chucky, can you?
Yeah, Charles is like, Chuck is short for Charles. You know, that's why they call, like, Charlie Brown good old Chuck.
Oh, that makes sense.
Peanuts facts with Renee.
I'm not going to spend any more time on this. That wasn't even, like, a thing said in this episode.
What, Chucky D?
No, stop! Look, Principal Pixie Frog says that he's the only qualified person in this school to be a nurse.
He hardly is, though. He
had a traumatic experience in the past, like, and gave up nursing long since then, where he was a tadpole in a little jar, and there was like a frog dissection operation board game, and he didn't do well and got electrocuted. And from then on, he renounced nursing. So I'm pretty sure he's not even qualified to actually
he's
nurse.
Not qualified.
He's absolutely not qualified, and it's just so funny that like him just thinking that he's qualified seems to be enough.
He's like, all right, well now you're it. So Wolverine kind of sets it up that you can't be principal again until Nurse Gazelle graduates. So he's like, ah, shit, that's gonna take forever. We gotta get someone to, you know, sit in for me as principal because it's gonna take a bit.
But also, she only needed to graduate middle school to go back to being like a medical professional.
I guess so, yeah.
It's kind of fun. Maybe I guess that's just the qualifications.
I think they were just overlooking the fact that, like, yeah, she would have to pass middle school, then high school, then, like, you know, go to medical school and all that. I think, like, you know, it was kind of like implied.
I guess this was the only way they could have like kept her around and done a bad joke.
Oh yeah. So who could he possibly get to replace him? Oh, what's that I'm looking at my watch here. It's about 6 minutes into the episode, and in walks Jake Spider Monkey and Adam Lyon.
Man, I was so scared that they weren't gonna show up this episode. I was really scared that they were just not gonna appear at all in this episode.
Imagine if they didn't. That would be so horrible.
Each episode is roughly 11 minutes long. So this was like, it took them half the episode to show up the main characters.
Okay, yeah.
And all they're showing up amounts to is like, hey, you all want to be like principal? And they're like, oh, okay.
And they just go, yeah.
So they are now the principals, and they have to share a little suit that they kind of just like wear together, and not in the way that they did when they were playing football, but like each of them gets a sleeve, and Jake refuses to wear the pants.
They are a unit. They are single unit.
They're on the little Segway, and Nurse Gazelle is now a student at Charles Darwin, so she's wearing a fun little outfit.
Yeah, her outfit is fun.
She's still stupid, though. Very stupid.
Yeah, she's still dumb.
You know, it's, not to peel back the curtain a little bit, but, you know, there's not much of Nurse Gazelle in this episode, I realize. That's supposed to be about Nurse Gazelle.
It's almost
kind of right now that I think of it.
It's almost like they didn't use her for like 4 seasons before this, so they didn't have anything like to build upon for her to actually have an episode about her.
It's really funny because like she was like one of the like the first like major like side characters in the very first episode. She was there, and like, you know, she had like the active role in the plot, and now she's just dumb like middle school girl who's like actually an adult going to middle school, trying to like hang out with like the pack, trying to act like there isn't a weird age difference there or anything.
It's like she's just suddenly decided to revert to being like this caricature of not even a middle schooler, like a high schooler or something.
Right.
And I don't know. She's just like, ooh, who's the cute one?
Who's the gossip? Oh, that Adam Lyon, he looks so cute.
And it's just like, shut up, you're an old woman. And Ingrid's very angry because she's like, my man.
She starts like frothing at the mouth. We cut to inside Principal Pixie Frog's office where Mr. Hornbill is getting fired.
Finally. God, this part was so cathartic. Yes.
It's what
he was begging for his job. Look at him squirm.
Look at this fucking sweaty, bad rhino. Look at him just struggle.
They're like firing him over. He's like panicking because he's like being like questioned about like the secret traps doors for like quick party hiding in like the school faculty lounge, and he's just so quick to like wanna like snitch out on the people who actually made those trap doors.
God, I hate him. Like, he's not only just like a hateable character, but he's a snitch. And, like, he's just, like, a fucking piece of shit. Like, he will rat anybody out if it gets him ahead.
Oh, absolutely. So they fire him, he cries, runs out, and they're like, okay, well, you know, good principaling. And meanwhile, Principal Pixie Frog is in the nurse's office just, like, hanging out. Looks like he's not really doing much. He gets kind of mad at them for firing Hornbill because he says, no, you were just supposed to threaten to fire him. Oh, well.
You're just supposed to put the fear in him, not actually, like, go through with it. But I think they made the right call.
It was a good idea, you know.
He better not show up in any other episodes now.
Yeah, imagine if this was just the last of him. Like, if
I would be so happy.
Like, if he was just gone forever and we didn't have to look at his stupid face ever again.
Oh, if only.
Imagine a world.
But Principal Pixie Frog, even though he's, like, realizing he's made a horrible decision, leaves them to, like, go back to the office and to not, like, touch, like, a closet or a special closet because he has a special friend in there. I don't This,
I don't get
this
joke.
This is a weird digression.
It kind of peters out. Like, you would think that him mentioning that there's a special friend within his, like, mind, would signify that, you know, there's actually going to be something to come out of that. Like, that's going to be sort of a conflict that we see with Adam and Jake as they explore their new job. It's not. It's just kind of something he does. He just says it.
Anyway, McSwampy wants to get back to some invasive surgery.
Some experimental surgery. And they leave him at that. Nurse Gazelle is just kind of like going on about Adam, and Ingrid just gets like she just like starts to wrap herself around her, and she's like tries to like bite her, like for real though, like she's like gnawing on her face, and it's very graphic. But Nurse Gazelle is like, oh, we have flat teeth, Ingrid, because we're, I think it's really funny that Nurse Gazelle even is like smart enough to be like, no, that's you, we don't have sharp teeth, we can't do that. But they decide that they've been acting silly, so they start hugging, and Mr. Mandrill kind of pops out of nowhere, and he's just like, stop it, break up, you two. Then he pushes them apart from each other. He's like, please apologize and hug, and they do, and they hug again, and he just pushes them apart again, and is like, no, stop fighting.
When will the violence end?
I thought it was a kind of a weird joke, like, just out of nowhere. Like, I mean, I get it, but, like, I mean, it just, like, feels awkward in the middle of this.
Like, it just kind of feels like we wanted to put Mr. Mandrill here. We wanted to make him say something funny, hee. Here it is.
Well, it's kind of like they had 3 different things they could have focused on, and then they realized that there was no real way for them to kind of meet in the middle or, like, be related to each other in any way. We got Ingrid and Nurse Gazelle having their Adam conflict. We have Adam and Jake discovering how to be a principal. And we have Principal Pixie Frog and Miss Warthog pretending to be nurses, but there's not really much content in any of those 3.
And basically, we have to do all of that in 5 minutes.
Yeah, because it took 6 minutes to set up.
We have to do all that in 5 minutes and somehow thread all these disparate plot lines together into some sort of, like, climax, which is happening now with, like, Mr. Mandrill, like, bringing, like, Ingrid and Nurse Gazelle in. Jacqueline is her first name. Forgot to mention.
It's a
Jacqueline
very
Gazelle.
pretty name.
All right.
What?
Anyway, he also brings in Adam and Jake because they got knocked out because of smoke inhalation. Because of an admittedly funny little thing where, like, they were just, like, barbecuing in Principal Pixie Frog's office, and they knocked it over and just set the whole thing on fire.
Get enveloped in flames. Flame.
It's just really funny to hear Mr. Mandrill be like, yeah, I came across these 2. They were passed out because they started a fire.
For a second, I was just like, when he first mentioned smoke inhalation, I was like, oh, have they been what I think they
No, Kurt! They weren't smoking weed!
Kurt, you piece of shit. They weren't smoking weed. Alright.
But it all, as we stated before, dovetails perfectly because, like, them, like, burning the office, like, leads to, oh, that means the archives of, like, Nurse Gazelle were burnt, as well as Principal Pixie Frog's imaginary friend.
What was his
Nikolai.
name? Nikolai. He said that. He asked he asked Mr. Mandrill, like, is my imaginary friend still alive? And he's like, sadly, he didn't survive. And he just wistfully says, Nikolai.
What was that?
It was a joke. That's a joke.
No,
right?
you can't. We go through this every time. The joke's gotta, like, work. It's got to be good, you know?
The joke's gotta be
You
funny.
can't just say a joke. We don't do that. I don't do that.
It doesn't work. It doesn't work.
The fire destroyed all of Principal Pixie Frog's files. So I guess there's no file. This is how they work. They're like, oh, there's no file, record on Nurse Gazelle, so nobody will ever know. Even though Wolverine knows that she hasn't graduated, and it's been like a day, and she probably hasn't still. So whatever. So everything's back to normal, and Windsor eats a tapeworm. The end.
Yeah. That just happens at the end. Principal Pixie Frog is just like, now I can rehire Mr. Fuck, he is going to rehire Mr. Hornbill. And Mr. Tapeworm doesn't have to teach anymore. And it's just like a scary tapeworm standing at a desk, and it jumps into Windsor's mouth at the very end of the episode. For no reason.
Just to make sure you're paying attention.
Yeah, can you imagine if tapeworms were actually like that with, like, teeth? Like, scary teeth and shit?
They're not.
They're not, they're just...
And that would be terrifying if they were.
Tapeworms, like, don't even look alive, really. They look like spaghetti.
Like yeah. But, so this episode, I wanted this episode to be good. Because there was such a strong idea of, like, you could have, like, an extremely goofy movie moment with, like, Nurse Gazelle, like, going to... Oh, hey, Maxie!
Hey, Maxie! And then he
But
just
I guess,
comes
like,
in.
Nurse Gazelle doesn't have any, like, actual relation to, like, anybody else in the cast. So, like, if, like, they realized halfway through, like, oh, this won't work. It's, like... the only thing we can do is make this, like, adult woman fawn over this middle school kid, I guess.
That's all we can do! There's no other way!
Next episode.
Yeah, next episode.
I just flew in, and boy, my arm's tired.
I think, like, Donald should say that, like, all the time. Like, anytime he enters a room. I think Donald Duck should, like, say that joke. And I think he should, like, say it with, like, no, like, sputtering or anything. Just, like, in a perfectly normal... Man, I just flew in from Chicago, and boy, are my arms tired. What was that, Donald?
Hey, y'all. Look at these funny deer.
Alright, you're just gonna, like, completely steamroll my good, like, Donald Duck bit, are you?
I wasn't that good, Renee.
Yeah.
I think that Donald Duck should rename himself Donald Bug. No.
Man.
That was nothing. Yo,
No.
I have a confession to make. I think I might have peaked at Darkwing Cuck. I think that was the moment I was the funniest in my whole life.
No, wait, hold on.
I've just been chasing that high ever since, and I can't get it back.
Oh, maybe we can make it work. Look, Lucy, I think, there's something in Donald Fuck. It's kind of funny, right, Kurt?
Yeah,
Donald, like you think, like, yeah, he's like a duck, right? But no, he's Donald. He's Donald. I can't even say it because it's so funny.
I can't even. I mean, it's just so fun.
I just think maybe he could be like, hi everybody, I'm Mickey Mouse, and I'm Goofy Dog, and Donald Duck,
I think we need to, like, have one person who can do, like, a perfect Donald Duck impression that can, like, just be on, like, anything we do, because that's what we need, really.
What's our email again? If you could do a good Donald Duck impression, email us at gympartnermonkey@gmail.com and say, I'm Donald Fuck. That's it. We'll put it on the podcast. I swear to God, if you could do a good one, just send it in.
That's it. That's all you gotta do.
I'm Donald Fuck. Thank you for listening to my Gym Partners podcast. No, don't say that.
My Gym Partner's a fuckcast.
You just can't put fucking words and think it's funny, Lucy. What's wrong with you?
It's Donald.
Stupid.
Stupid
No.
Dobby. Stupid Dobby.
Stupid, Lucy. Stupid.
God, the way that Dobby, like, beats himself up is so funny.
It's awful. It's pathetic.
It's
He
like
looks-
the most
I-
pathetic thing I've ever seen.
It looks like he's gonna cave his own head in with his frail twig arms.
He can't, though, because he's so weak.
But I feel like he's so fragile.
I bet
like
it
he's gonna
doesn't-
break into like ceramic or something.
It doesn't even hurt him when he hits himself because he's like, he's too weak to even hurt his like own head.
Sink or swim. This episode opens on a green stinky pool filled with many cute aquatic creatures. I enjoy seeing the aquatic creatures.
I enjoy seeing cute aquatic creatures.
I like the whale. It was cute.
The whale is, how do you say, kawaii? The dolphins are kawaii.
Enough of that. Look, I was on board with like, the whale is cute. I like it. Why? What are we saying here? What's the intonation here? What's the energy of this? Are we
Well,
trying
I'm
to
just
be like a
very-
documentary or something?
No, you don't understand. I'm just trying to be subjective here. You see, the problem with cartoon reviewers is that we're just too, you know what I mean? It's no fun listening to us talk about things, and getting all mad and stuff. So I'm just gonna be objective.
Oh, objective.
I think I'm very smart. So when I say that this was an objectively okay episode, that means it's true, and nobody can argue with me about that.
You see, what they should have done with this episode, the thing is... And then, like, your fucking, like, your, like, avatar is moving around, like, only their hands, though, and then, like, they go back to the default, like, crossed. Like, your arms are crossed.
Cross arms pose.
The problem about the green stinky pool is that nobody from the pack wants to get in it, and they're just kind of watching all the dolphins and stuff swim in it, and they look very distraught. They're all like scrunched up with each other. I think this episode had some really fun poses.
Are they afraid of the green stinky in the pool, or are they afraid of the dolphins?
I don't think they're afraid of the dolphins.
No, I think like the idea here is that because they're land animals, you see, including Adam, who is also a land animal, they're too afraid to swim. They're not experienced in it.
I see.
But these aquatic animals, they love doing it. So, except for who's that on the horizon, in a French bathing suit, looking reminiscent of some French diver or something. Up there. It's hard to see because of the glare of the sun. Oh, it's Jake Spider Monkey in another one of his fanciful costumes. Oh, you love to see it, folks. It's this one he's wearing, like, as I said, a striped red and white bathing suit. He's got a bit of a bowl cut there. He's got a luxurious French mustache. He's like a French strongman almost, and he's
There he is.
He is...
It's always great to see Jake. This is a kind of Jake-centric episode, and I think it was just a breath of fresh air seeing just Jake being stupid and fun. And, he does a big dive, and the emphasis is on his butt, of course, but I didn't even feel annoyed. I didn't even feel that annoyed. I was just like, yeah, there's Jake in his butt. What's happening to me?
We may be desensitized to this at this point. It's hard to acknowledge that, but I think just seeing Jake's butt doesn't elicit a reaction in us anymore.
We are completely immune to Jake's ass and its effects that it can have on the human mind.
Anyway, he does a butt bomb and, like, just displaces all the water in the stinky pool.
Oh, that pool was so stinky. And all of the, all the dolphins and and whales, they're, like, suffocating now because they don't have water.
Yeah, the dolphins and whales. Hey, got anything to say about the Animals Facts Corner with Renee?
Yeah, is there anything?
Yeah, okay.
Oh boy, 2 in 1.
Animal Fact with Renee.
Whales and dolphins are mammals. They breathe air. You neophytes. You can't even get that right. Amateur hour.
Principal Pixie Frog has to save the dolphins. They're his star athletes. So he grabs a hose and he just shoves it into a blowhole and he starts pumping water in there, and it's very disturbing. I hate it.
It's not how you
That'll
save...
Pumping water into their lungs.
It is not how you save a mammal, nor would it be how you save a fish. Or anything, really.
I have explained on this show before that fish, like they do not like breathe water, quote unquote. They like separate the air bubbles from the water into their gills so that they can breathe. The air does not kill them. It is the lack of like flotation of propulsion, because like the air pressure crushes the gravity crushes their lungs. They suffocate from the collapse of their own lungs. Is the thing.
So fish have lungs.
No, they don't.
They have a swim bladder, don't they?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry. Look, and animal facts, it gets a bit messy when like I'm just like angrily seeing these like water like hose pumped into blowhole. Oh, I'm the real angry cartoon reviewer here.
You were always the angry cartoon reviewer.
You're like that one guy on Twitter. What's his name? Neil, who is out here
Who?
like
Neil? Who?
Neil.
You know old Neil.
Oh, you mean
the guy? The guy is always like, this can't work. It's just not how space works.
You mean Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah, that guy.
Oh, okay. Fucking.
The guy is like,
old Neil.
You can't put a BB-8 on the sand. It wouldn't work. It would roll and would not roll. And then he makes a tweet about it, and then everyone's like, "Shut up, God!"
He's just like,
sci-fi
"I'm
movie.
so smart, and you're so dumb." Wow, I can't believe you didn't know that balls don't float on water.
What are you talking about?
It's just a smart person fact. Am I right?
I think I'm getting dumber just talking about this.
That's fair.
Let's talk about the enlightening, intellectually stimulating My Gym Partner's a Monkey, of course. So
I need to feel my brain expand.
Principal Pixie Frog explains to Jake that everyone in the pool there was a member of the synchronized swimming team, and they're like the best. They're undefeated. They're just amazing because they're aquatic animals. So like, of course, they would win against like humans. They just naturally thrive in the water. And Jake is not allowed to join because he's a land animal, excuse me. And that is just very sad for Jake and very sad for me because I want him to do his butt bomb in front of, as he puts it, a captive audience.
Yeah, I mean, why wouldn't we let him have this?
I don't know. I'd rather he didn't have that. He gets too much freedom as it is.
When he did the butt bomb, I forgot to mention how he exposed his cheeks as he was doing it, because of course he was wearing like that little outfit. He also had pants on, his cheeks kind of like softly like tore apart the fabric, like they just kind of like went like pss, pss. Like it was very disturbing to me how incredibly like not abrupt it was. It just silently pushed through it as if it was like tissue paper. like incredibly soft tissue paper.
Coach Gill got launched into the fucking light, like the what was that, like a,
it was like the baseball field lights or like whatever, the field lights. And Principal Pixie, we get a weird front-facing shot of Principal Pixie Frog, this very off-model that I'm very intrigued by.
And then he like does the sexism against Coach Gill.
Hey, why don't you unscrew that faulty light bulb for us? And then she gets fish fried.
Thank you, sweetie. Why'd they make him say that? I always found Principal Pixie Frog to be a
equal opportunity kind of guy.
Yeah, an equal opportunity, respect women kind of guy, but he just...
We can't keep pretending like Mr. Principal Pixie Frog hasn't done bad things.
But he's such a funny little guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point of this episode, they're in the lunchroom. Adam's trying to reassure Jake. He's like, come on, man, it's kind of lame anyway. And you've never even seen actual synchronized swimming, so you don't know what it even is. And Windsor's like, yes, I concur. And he's looking through like a book, and he's like, oh, you could be, but what if sea monkeys, or what are they, sea simians? You might be related to those.
Yeah, it's because like Jake feels so strongly about swimming. Well, just about, like, the idea of, like, showing everyone his butt bomb. But, like, because, like, he feels so strongly about that, he assumes he must be some sort of river simian or something. Something more than just a land animal. And Windsor and Slips looking through their comics. By the way, that's cute. They're reading comics in lunch. That's fun. They're reading it, and of course, with every comic book, there's like the advertisement of sea monkeys in the back, and like, ooh, Jake, you might be related to sea monkeys.
Did y'all ever have sea monkeys when you were younger?
Nope, I did not.
I think I wanted to get some really badly.
I had those little things called triops. They were kind of like the same idea, but they're a lot weirder looking.
Those are honestly way better.
They are.
I really wanted to get triops, but like my dad never let me.
You should let your dad. Your dad can't decide this for you now. You can just get prehistoric ancient sea creatures and grow them at your home. That is your right.
I can grow them. They're so ancient. Oh,
they're so ancient. They'll
be so liberating.
They have 3 eyes. That's so weird.
But yeah, sea monkeys.
Sea monkeys.
And now we have the classic plot line of getting your soul crushed, realizing that sea monkeys are just brine shrimp, as Adam like tries to like bring down Jake's like fantasy.
Maybe I'm just weird, but the idea of them not being monkeys excites me. I want some little shrimp. I love shrimp.
Oh, but they're so tiny though.
They're so little, but they gotta grow. They start out as like a grain of sand or whatever, like a little bitty thing. Gotta feed them whatever brine shrimp eat.
Yeah, but like Adam like talks about how he used to like get he ordered some sea monkeys, but then they turned out to be brine shrimp, and then like he flushed them down the toilet. Which to everyone's shock, because they just established that they were Jake's relatives. It's not a good look on you, Adam. I gotta say.
You shouldn't be flushing Jake's folks, his people down the drain, down the turlet. Not a good look. Scene
transition. 4 to 6 weeks later, he's got his little sea monkeys. His little box. Oh, he's so happy. Look at him running around like a little monkey on his
He's
paws.
like, my relatives have arrived.
Finally, I can talk to. Hello, brethren.
Adam like just got done using the John. And everyone looks at him. Man, you flush down some sea monkeys one time.
you're that guy forever.
Adam should have mentioned an important fact about the sea monkeys.
Well, we'll find out later as Jake is like carefully getting the enclosed aquarium. He dashes the egg packet into the water. Ooh, it's so sparkly and
It's totally pink.
They're really excited about it, and Jake comments, "Wow, they don't teach you this stuff in mating class," which is a fun thing.
That's
say.
That is a funny thing to say. Mating class, like an animal.
Jake keeps looking back and forth between like the packaging and the jar full of pink stuff, and there's like you can't see anything in the jar, but he's really excited and he's like, "Oh, look how fun. This is so fun. Woohoo!" And then it cuts to like a few hours later or something, and he's like, "Actually, this sucks. Sea simians suck.
They're so boring."
Adam goes, "Brine shrimp," and he's like, "Gesundheit." Which I thought was funny.
He just didn't. It's kind of funny. I thought that Jake was maybe going to go on like some adventures with his like. I thought we were gonna see a few like screen wipes at least of Jake doing his own thing with his presumed family, but he does
like them on a seesaw or something.
Yeah,
like he's on one. He's pushing it on a swing or something like that.
But they just immediately go to Jake being like, "Nah, I don't like him."
There's this shot of like Adam just kind of raising his hands up to the sky and like looking up and like shaking them. It made me laugh a lot because he's just looking at him like, "Why, God, why have you done this to me?"
Why does
Jake flushes his family down the toilet though?
God. Jake flushes his family down the toilet because he thinks they're boring. And Adam's like, "No! Don't do- what are you doing?" And Jake goes, "Oh, I just took your advice. I flushed them down the toilet because they're boring." He's like, "I didn't flush them down the toilet because they were boring. I flushed them down because they passed away, met their maker." And he just goes, expired, extinct.
Yeah, he goes on for a while, and Jake's like, "I don't know."
For a minute.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, you mean they died?" And the toilet starts like fizzing and like looking dangerous, so they decide they're gonna back away slowly. And so they back out through the school, out the front door, down the sidewalk. They get to a stoplight. They stop at the stoplight. They go across the street, and then they end up having looped back around, and they're back in the boys' restroom. But it seems like everything is fine.
It's a very long, slow sequence.
All the while this is happening, there's this, like, music playing that was just, like, killing me. And how, like, chill and light. It was like it felt like something from Twin Peaks. Taking it a little slow, this episode. This sequence.
I think the some music choices make or break a joke. I think that made the joke, even though it really easily could have annoyed. This was a good joke. You did a good one.
Hey, nice joke.
Immediately, we're at the climax already, because like as soon as like they go out, oh no. Something's attacking all like the aquatic animals in the stinky pool. What's going on? Oh, the sea monkeys. They've mutated.
They've evolved.
You're not supposed to flush the buggers out when they're alive, because then they mutate and like get all aggressive and like locusts and stuff.
You don't find sea monkeys in the wild. They're only in the packages.
What's funny about this whole sequence is that you just don't see them ever.
Yeah.
Like, you just see a bunch of people, like, flailing around and, like, they're attacking me, get them off, but you just don't see them.
Reminds me of the Nanobots episode of the Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, yeah.
The ones where, like, they were, like, in the rain. Always scared me.
They just, like, chew everything up, but you can't see them. It just looks like the rain is dissolving everything.
All they did was eat people's clothes, right?
Yeah. Well, also buildings and stuff, so that's, like, pretty major.
Oh, yeah, that did happen.
But, you know, I thought this would have been a good opportunity to, like, you know, oh no, they evolved and now they actually look like what's on the package. But they don't.
But no.
They just stick to it. I mean, that's ridiculous, Renee. They're brine shrimp.
You're right. You're right. How could I have been so foolish?
They wouldn't evolve to look like monkeys. Like, are you kidding me?
The one time they're trying to be realistic here, I should accept them. You know.
Adam devises a plan to save everybody. He whispers sweet nothings into Jake's ear, and Jake does a enormous butt bomb, which Principal Pixie Frog tries to intercept, but just gets caught in the blast.
He goes, "No! No! I don't want this monkey to do this again." But
Jake hits the water, and all the water comes splashing out, and everyone is clear of the sea monkeys, because I guess there's no water, I guess. That's what that was about. And Principal Pixie Frog is like, all right, you can be part of the team. So we cut to Adam and Principal Pixie Frog. They're sitting on some bleachers, and they're watching, you know, the dolphins and Jake spit some liquid out of their various holes. And
how does Jake spit out his liquid?
Oh, yeah. So,
what are the mechanics of that?
Well, we see.
Explain it to me. I don't understand.
We see the dolphins, right? They spray it out of their blowholes. So, what's the closest thing Jake has to a blowhole? His butthole. And I just hate that. They make us acknowledge that, like, he doesn't just have, like, a butt. Like, it's working anatomy, and that makes me so angry. Like, I hate having to acknowledge that.
I don't know. I think we've been lacking in the Jake butt jokes.
Well, no, it's all fun and games when they just, you know, show his, like, funny butt cheek monkey. But
you know, I think they really needed to focus on one for an episode.
So,
like, you know, like since like the banned butt episode.
You're right. Know? We need a joke of Jake spraying water out of his asshole. That's the joke.
The end.
The end. What a joke to end on.
I mean, what y'all think? I thought this was an alright episode.
Oh no, yeah. I think Sink or Swim was my favorite out of the two, and I actually thought it was pretty funny.
It was
a fun time.
It was the better of the two, in my opinion.
This was an average episode, I'd say. Like, you know, you tune in and you'd be like, oh yeah, this is a My Gym Partner's a Monkey episode. This is like they're like stride, you know, they're bread and butter type episodes.
Bread and butter.
Lion's Anatomy feels more like their freaking like tuna and crackers that they quickly whipped up, and like they missed the tuna, so it's just crackers.
Damn it.
Lion's Anatomy was a mess. It was just a mess. I gotta say it outright. Sorry, Lion's Anatomy fans, if you like the episode.
It had the potential.
So much wasted potential. You know, they just didn't know how to utilize Nurse Gazelle well, and just utilized her badly, I'd say.
Or just basically not at all.
Or basically not at all.
All right, let's talk about some fun stuff. We got lots of fan art to talk about. I'll start us out. We got something from @GatSplat on Twitter. At My Gym Partners, a podcast with new Animal Crossing New Horizons coming out in under a month, I thought it would be fun to draw Animal Crossing My Gym Partner's a Monkey for funsies, and we got a lovely little drawing here of Adam and Carrie as Animal Crossing villagers, and we got the pack as Animal Crossing villagers. Oh, they're so cute! Look at them. Look at little Ingrid.
The little Lupe is actually adorable. Like It endears me more to this character than, like, ever should
4
be.
seasons of this show has done.
Yeah! Also, snake villagers, I wish were a thing. Seeing the slips makes me wish dearly that we had some more, like, non-traditional, like, cute animals to be in the fray. Maybe we'll get that. Maybe they've been holding out on us.
God.
But, thank you for the art.
Yeah, thank you so much. This is really cute.
It's so cute.
So lovely. I love looking at Jake here, especially. He's got, like, a good face here.
What do you think Jake's, like, Animal Crossing voice would be? You know how
Jock. Oh, I thought you were gonna ask personality.
Well, yeah, he
Jock,
would
though.
be a jock, but I'm wondering what, like, his, like, little voice. You know how some of them are like.
His would be high pitched, I think.
So he would be. Like, I think Windsor would be one that's like.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we got another piece of art. Sorry. This piece comes to us from at Cat Comic Studios. My gym partner's a podcast, super messy doodle before work. What I imagine a day in the life of Gert to be like. And it is a depiction of me in my little fancy bowl ordering Amazon lobster.
Lady Gert, your Amazon lobster has arrived.
Ah, finally. Please place it in my bowl, for I intend to consume it after combat. This joke...
So you wrestle your food.
It's so funny to me that this joke transcends just Lucy yelling at me for no reason. No, it's everywhere.
This is the beauty of podcasts, where we can have, like, in jokes, like, chase you around, and now they followed you to, like, to the point of someone's drawn fan art of this intro.
Of all the like, thank you so much, but also, god damn it.
Got him.
I've been owned.
Thank you so much. Renee?
Okay, we got some art from at Heckhound Arts, some My Gym Partners of Podcast inspired doodles, plus one of the cursed images they conjured into my mind. Thanks, I hate it. And we got 3 images here. We got the usual day in the life of me, sort of like face palming as Lucy and Gert are like giving off like very annoying energies. He's got those faces. I don't know if that's a specific face.
I love the way that. I love that. It reminds me of like the from SpongeBob movie.
Yeah.
This really represents the energy. I love it. We got a T-posing Jake with the Pope hat with the caption Dorime. Dorime.
What is that from? What is that?
That's
from Catholicism.
Religion? No, it's a meme people have been doing lately.
I haven't seen the Dorime. What is that from? Is that a?
It's from the Bible. Oh, you should really check it out, Bart. It's pretty cool. Bart, why am I doing a
You should really check it out, Bart.
Who's that? Lisa?
That's Lisa?
No, that's supposed to be like, I was trying to do Flanders Children's. Flanders
okay.
Kids, which kind of a hard one to pinpoint.
Alright.
And then this last one?
And this last one, you know, as like referenced from the beginning, we have Pete, the cat, saying "Slay Queen."
Slay Queen.
Kind of like dejectedly here, like he was asked to say it. And it's like, "Slay Queen."
But Pete, stick together.
Gay Pete's stick together.
Big gay Pete.
But great art all around. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And we have another one from
another one? They just don't stop.
This is from @sludge_eater. Says, "Do not underestimate me." It is a picture. It is a very lovingly rendered picture of Mr. Mandrill.
I can't fault that. It is very lovingly rendered and like very nice looking. Thank you, but please take it back. I don't
No.
want this associated with me.
Don't.
I have no part in this. This is not my hand. This is not my influence.
Yeah, you can just listen to Renee. Hey, leave that picture. Leave that picture on my desk. I know Renee's like acting a little flustered right now, but don't worry.
They're gonna want it later.
They'll want it later. They're just too proud to accept it now, but I'll give it to them in private.
No, okay, no. I have to nip this in the bud. How is this the thing that's built up when in like one of the first episodes? Like, the first episode, actually, I said that I liked Mr. Blowhole. How did this happen?
Well,
Mr. Blowhole doesn't show up enough, and he doesn't talk.
It wouldn't be as funny if we said Miss Renee likes Mr. Blowhole, because that implies that you have good taste. We have to lie.
Are you gonna insult the people who like Mr. Mandrill now?
Yeah. Listen, Levi here has actually bought us a coffee or two. And so they have a message. They say, "Thank you for making the podcast. It is a joy and a good time every bi-weekly Wednesday. With that, here is my message. Mr. Mandrill is not a fraud. He is a good ape, and damn it, will that monkey try his best to bring happiness and love to all. Peace."
Well, maybe I was a little hasty to say that people... I can fix this.
You know, like we appreciate all the fans of all the characters of this episode, of this show. You know, Mr. Mandrill stands. We hear you. I am not one of you. Please stop sending me like invitations to your society.
Stop sending me your newsletter, your weekly emails. I don't want them anymore.
And finally.
Oh, yeah, great. Talk about our final one.
Yes. This next piece of art is from Cadet Official. I've been listening to My Gym Partners podcast a lot lately. It helps me get work done. I'm almost caught up, and I relate a lot to this bit in episode 44 when Gert started talking about the live-action Popeye movie. Not because I've seen that movie, but just because I've been there. And it's a picture of me being like, please don't take up my only funny bit. When I was talking about the Popeye movie, and you know, it's funny. I haven't seen the whole Popeye movie.
What?
You haven't even seen the whole Popeye movie.
What? You haven't seen it?
Well, I've seen a portion of it. You see, I was awake for a long time. It was up into the morning that I was awake at like 10 a.m. and Will started watching it for some reason. So I was just like, I'm going to sit here and watch the Popeye movie with you. And in my like sleep-deprived days, I saw the beginnings of this movie until it wasn't possible anymore for me to do it. And I saw enough to know that the Popeye movie is a fever dream. It's strange, it's weird. I can't believe it's Robin Williams' first movie, that I have to mention that every time.
She hasn't even seen the whole movie.
Oh my god.
And she pushed it as a bit.
And I gotta say, this fan art like kills me. feverishly like went to go listen back to that bit because I remembered it, but I was like, oh man, I gotta listen to that again. So I went to episode 44, which you've commented that it is in. It's actually in 42, but I did think I was going nuts for a while. I was like, where is it? Where's the Popeyes? I'm gonna find it. I have to find it.
Oh, gotta get that Popeye. Love that chicken at Popeyes, you know?
So if you're looking for that bit, if you're like wanting to rewatch some My Gym Partners podcast funny moments, that would be episode 42. That's our most recent one featuring Seep, good friend of the podcast, good friend of the show. So give it a watch, maybe. Yeah, speaking of people giving it a watch and watching our stuff, Gary Bones, in our latest episode, commented, I've been binge watching this podcast for a couple of weeks now. Listening to it while I'm at college or doing my homework or other stuff. The other night I was playing Minecraft, and I don't remember which episode it was where you played the Minecraft soundtrack, so I just stared blankly at the screen trying to process what the fuck was going on. Thank you so much for brightening my day with your extremely big-brained insights on this cartoon. I sure remember watching a lot of, without remembering much of the actual episodes, until now. With that said, I just had to pause when I got to the Mickey Mouse bit, because it is my current special interest, so you have no idea how distraught I am right now. I jumped off my seat. How dare you put these concepts into my mind? /sarcasm. Even so, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Listen, if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen, huh?
Mickey, I'm sorry. Look, you're multifaceted as a character. You're not you're not just a mascot of a big CEO, big monopolist corporation. You're a pretty good guy. You're a poor working man in that Christmas special where that ripping off the gift of the Magi.
I sold it for Minnie.
Yeah.
I do so much for this town and nobody appreciates me. I'm tired of it.
Mickey, I'm sorry. Oh, jeez, I'm not gonna work in this town again. But okay, thank you, Gary Bones, for keeping up with the episodes. So many people have been keeping up with the episodes. I've been hearing people catching up and just binge watching the show. It's really just so great to hear that so many people go through so many of our episodes. And it helps them out doing work, doing college and stuff. It's nice, and I hope we continue to help y'all out. I definitely hope it does keep helping y'all out. We keep bringing the funny while y'all are just doing your own stuff. Cheers.
Yeah, and I will say it feels so great knowing that we can be something that people look forward to, and I'm really thankful for that. I'm glad that everybody's having a good time.
Speaking of looking forward to, next episode is going to be in 2 weeks.
Shit.
And it's going to be pretty fun, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, come along for the ride. We'll see you then.
Yeah.
This has been My Gym Partners podcast. I am Lucy.
I'm Renee.
I am Gert.
And as usual, we are My Gym Partners, a podcast. This is where we end the episode. Thank you all for watching. I have no association with Mr. Mandrill. I am drilling that into your skull. Goodbye.
Goodbye.